Hey friend, Roger Christofferson here again with another First Listen review, and I am very excited today to babble to you about Michael Schenker, one of my favorite guitar players of all time. He just released a new album. It's called My Years With UFO. I didn't really know what this was until I did a little bit of research on it and found out it's him obviously redoing a bunch of old UFO songs, which is kind of what I expected, but what I didn't know was all the special guests he was going to have on this. And so yeah, that makes it pretty interesting. This isn't like I guess it's kind of a band effort, but it's got a lot of extra people, you know, making guest appearances on it. People he has not worked with before and some that he has worked with before. And you know, I'd seen some, watched a little interview, or actually I read an interview with him talking about it, and a little bit of research on this, so I knew what I was getting into, and just got done listening to it, and wow, it was, I mean, I have trouble when, you know, bands go back and like redo stuff. Although I love Michael so much, I didn't really care too much he was going back and doing this, but so the problem I have with it is, you know, sometimes these artists go back and they try to recapture the magic or to recreate something. You know, when you're talking about UFO, for me anyway, they have this very special sound, and there's a place and time when this came into my life, and so that original recording and the sound of all of that is always going to be, you know, tagged to whatever was happening in my life at that point. Just, you know, it's kind of like a time machine. You know, you hear something and your mind goes back in time, and it just kind of takes you to that place. You feel those feelings of, you know, whatever, you know, remembering things. And you know, so when bands redo things, I don't think they're ever going to recapture that, and I don't think he did. But on the same note, after listening to this, these versions are fun. It just sounds like, for me, it was more fun listening to what these younger, I'd say younger, because some of these guys have been around for just as long as him, you know, people that have admired UFO and fans of UFO, and there's some younger ones on here, you know, what they were excited about and what they, you know, inspired by UFO, and now they could put their little touch on it and hear Michael just having fun playing these songs still. So they all sound great. I'm not gonna lie, there's nothing on here that's a clunker. You know, sometimes you get these things and you get a lot of different guest people and different vocalists, and you hear something that sounds horrible, and you're like, oh man, this, you know, but there's none of that on here. Every song on here actually sounds really good. That the solos aren't exactly, obviously, what they were. Like, for instance, the very first song I just get into, it's got Dee Snider on it with Joel Hoekstra adding some guitar. And man, Dee sounds great on this. Dee has like not lost his voice at all, his range, nothing, his strength. He just sounds great singing on the song. It's just a very good way to start the album. I think it was high energy, and you know, and Joel adds his little thing there too. I'm like, for me, Joel's not one of those guys that has like a unique style that I can pick out, although he's a phenomenal player. I've seen him play, and he just does it effortlessly. Like, he just doesn't even think of it. Just his fingers just kind of flow, and the notes just fall off of his fingers. And you know, so he's did a great solo on here, but you know, it just doesn't have that style that you know, Michael has. And when Michael starts playing, you just, oh, that's Michael Schenker. So anyway, that's, you know, I guess I'll just run down these through track by track. Only You Can Rock Me has Joey Tempest and Roger Glover on it. You know, Roger Glover produced, I believe, can't remember how many of the albums he did, but early MSG stuff. So it's just funny he never played on anything that I'm aware of, and maybe he did. If I'm wrong, correct me, but I don't think he did. So it's kind of cool to have him actually playing on this. Joey Tempest, didn't even recognize his voice at first. He sings this like really strangely, but it still sounds good. But I didn't even recognize it was his voice when I first started listening to it. Because let's put it this way, Phil Mogg is a hard guy to duplicate. You can't really duplicate what he does. He has such a unique style and sound. You can't sound like him. So when somebody else sings one of his songs, it's kind of like, oh, you know. And I think he was trying to sound or sing it in the Phil Mogg style, and it just still said good song, but it didn't sound like Joey Tempest at first. But anyway, Dr. Doctor is next on here, which has got Joe Turner and Cameron Appice, or Appice, whichever way he pronounces, I can never remember. That ended up being cool. I like that song. It's always, you know, been a UFO classic. And Joe Turner is also one of my favorite vocalists, so that was pretty cool. I actually met Carmen like years ago. Did some drum clinic with his brother fairly close to my house, and drove out and saw them. He was a cool dude. Didn't play this song, however, but that was a good one. This one was interesting. Mother Mary's got Slash playing guitar. Of course, Slash is one of those guys that definitely has a style. As soon as he starts playing, it's him, and Schenker, obviously. So hearing those two going back and forth was kind of cool. It had a very different take on this song. I know the song. I don't know how many other people really know the song, but I mean, if you're a UFO fan, you obviously will, but if you're just a casual fan, you may not know this one. It's got Ira Gronwell singing on it, which was the former vocalist of Skid Row. Don't know what he's doing right now. I know he was in Heat for a little bit, and not sure what he's doing, but this was cool hearing him sing on it. Also one of these things where he was trying to sing like Phil and didn't quite recognize his voice at first. If I didn't read who it was ahead of time, probably wouldn't have known it was him for the first half of the song. Now, this is where it really starts kicking in, those The Kids. It's got Biff Byford on it. That riff is so cool. And it's got Derek Sherinian on keys on this one, and then actually it's got Brian Tichy and Barry Sparks on bass on this one. Brian Tichy on drums and Barry Sparks on bass. So this kind of had that a really cool band vibe to it, and man, that riff is so cool, and just let those guys shine a little bit. And I'm a Derek Sherinian fan, so I like listening to him play. It was kind of cool having a keyboard solo and a guitarist album, so that was kind of cool. Now the one that was weird for me, and at first I was like, what the heck is this, is Love to Love. I love this song. It's got a cool intro. It's got this really moodiness to it. And this had Axl Rose on. I guess he also tried to do Only You Can Rock Me To Out the Handle, but he didn't like what he did, so said it was okay to release this version of it. I don't know what's going on with his voice. It's just him, or it sounds like he's got a weird effect on it. But at first I was like, oh, this sounds weird. And then as the song went on, I'm like, but it perfectly fits the song. It's got a cool moodiness to it that he didn't try to imitate Phil. He did it his own way, and it actually has a cool, he's singing like a lot of falsetto in this, like a soft falsetto, but he's got the little bit of rasp going on, so it was really weird to listen to it. Actually, I had to go back and check this one out again just because it was so strange, but it's kind of slowly becoming my favorite one on here, so that's worth checking out. Then we got Lights Out on here with Jeff Scott Soto and John Norum. Love Jeff Scott Soto, love John Norum. I wish that actually John had sung on one of these, because John's got a really cool voice too, but Jeff Scott Soto is also an amazing singer, so, classic UFO song. Did a great job on it. There's not really much more to say about that one. And then we got Rock Bottom featuring Kai Hansen. Now, I thought Kai was playing guitar on this when I saw his name, but he actually is the one that sings this, so that was like really strange. He doesn't sing super high like he does in the Gamma Ray and the early Halloween stuff, but it does a great job on it. I think he sounds really good. It's just it was weird having him sing it. The extended solo on here is really cool. I really like the solo on this one. He changed it up a little bit. Kind of stuck to the Strangers in the Night version of it with a little bit of changes to it, but that was kind of cool just to hear things switch up a little bit. I got Too Hot to Handle. We're almost done here. Got Too Hot to Handle. Also with Joel and Turner, Guy Adrian Vandenberg, one of my other favorite guitarists in the world. So this album is loaded with a lot of my favorites, and I'm doing favorites and quotes because I have a lot of favorites. But getting Adrian rocking out also has a very unique style. So he has a style that's similar to Michael. However, he has that sound that somehow he gets with a Gibson that Michael gets with a Flying V. They're very similar. Les Paul, I should say. They're both Gibson. So. But definitely unique. Of course, Joe's just a killer singer, so that one was also very cool for me to listen to. Let It Roll, he let Michael Voss, his producer on this album, sing on it. Michael Voss has kind of been involved in lots of different bands where he just produces, sings, plays guitar, I think, and some stuff. But it was a cool little, song that I don't listen to much from UFO, but it was a cool version of it. Tried to sound, I think, a little bit more like Phil than I would have liked, but still a good job at doing it. And then the last song on here, Shoot Shoot, has got Stephen Pearcy on it. If anybody remembers, Michael actually played in Rat in the early 90s there when Robin was having some issues. If you saw the Unplugged on MTV at the time, he was playing guitar on that one. Excuse me. And, so it's cool to hear Stephen on here. I know that Stephen's voice has changed a lot over the years, so I wasn't really sure what to expect. But somehow he actually has that early Rat vocal style going on, so it actually fit really well in here, and I think it was a good song for him to do, and cool way to end the album. So anyway, my quick little take on it. Didn't want to this to go too long, but it looks like it did anyway because that's what I do. I babble. So anyway, that's my quick little take on it. Worth a listen. It was fun. You know, still the originals are always going to be my favorites, but this was fun to listen to as well. It's just cool to just hear an updated version of it. You know, these songs, I mean, they're all good songs. So anyway, we can hear them, and still Michael playing on them. It was cool. It was fun. I don't know what else to say. This said fun a lot. So if you're playing any drinking games with me saying fun, you're probably half in the bag right now. But as I always, you know, welcome any comments, you know, any Michael Schenker stories or anything you think about the song. If you've heard it, feel free to share it, like, share, and subscribe. Keep this music alive, because I would really love to hear some more from Michael. The stuff he's been doing lately has been killer. I'd really love to hear another one with just Robin McAuley, though. I really like that version of the band. I know that's not a popular opinion, I don't think, but I really like Robin McAuley's style that he sang with Michael, so I'd like to hear another one of those. He did a little bit here on one of his more recent albums, but I'd love to hear a whole full album. But anyway, that's my opinion. So I guess that's enough babbling for now, and until next time, we will see ya.